Welcome to this new video from Maatwielen, my wheel building company in the Netherlands. In this video we will be looking at 4 different types of Clincher road rims and the advantages and disadvantages of each. I find that average cyclists aren't aware of the existence of these differences and as a result don't know what to watch out for when deciding on a new Clincher wheel set. So I hope this video will increase their knowledge and as a result make their ride safer, better and less expensive. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Don't hesitate to comment on the video or to ask questions in the section below. As mentioned in the introduction, this video will be about Clincher road rims, which are by far the most common rims used by road cyclists. Clincher refers to Clincher tires, which are tires constructed with so-called beads and which use a separate inner tube as opposed to tubular tires. This is a tubular tire where the inner and outer tube form one part that is glued onto tubular rims. Now here we have on the left side a Clincher rim profile and on the right side a tubular rim profile. Tubular tires don't have beads and consequently tubular rims don't have bead hooks. The tire beads are made of rigid material. You can see the tire beads here, and they hook under the upper rim edge like this, keeping the tire in place when it is inflated. Now, 4 types of Clincher road rims can be distinguished. First, full carbon rims. Second, carbon rims with aluminium braking surface. Third, aluminium rims with carbon fairing, and fourth, aluminium rims. Each of these have their advantages and disadvantages. As their name suggests, full carbon rims are fully made of carbon. They are light but generally very strong, which make them suitable for heavy riders. Even higher full carbon rims are relatively light as compared to full aluminium rims of the same height. But please note that not all carbon rims are equally well made. Quality may vary considerably across different manufacturers. Although braking performance is usually fine in normal weather conditions, it is reduced in wet conditions. Additionally, carbon isn't as resistant to heat as aluminium and can permanently deform when it gets very hot. Typically, after a long descent, a rider might notice that the rim catches the brake pads early at a particular point, creating bumpy braking that won't go away. What happens is that heat builds up during the descent until the rim starts to melt a little, typically at the braking surfaces, creating a structural weakness which in turn leads to deformation because of the outward tire pressure. And finally, the carbon hardens again when there's no more braking, allowing the rim to cool down. This picture shows a full carbon rim with such a deformation. Always remember that heat and carbon don't go well together. I therefore always advise against using these rims in the mountains. Please note that the disadvantages of reduced braking performance in the wet and possible deformation due to heat buildup of course don't apply to full carbon rims for disc brakes. The last disadvantage of full carbon rims I would like to mention relates to balance. The balance of wheels with full carbon rims often is poor, and the higher the rim, the poorer the balance. The imbalance is caused by the weight of the valve, which isn't offset by the extra weight of the joint opposite the valve, as is the case with aluminium rims. But there are ways to solve the imbalance, for example by applying a balancing sticker to the rim, as I've done with my own wheels with full carbon rims. The second type of Clincher road rim is this one, a carbon part with an aluminium brake track bonded onto it. The carbon part of the rim supports the spoke tension as the spoke nipples sit in this part. These rims are popular with people looking to combine the benefits of higher carbon rims with those of aluminium rims. These are generally very strong rims but tend to be on the heavy side. The aluminium part of this rim is vulnerable because it is only a brake track lacking the structure of a regular rim. It isn't as resistant to heat as regular aluminium rims, and as a result it can deform in much the same way as full carbon rims when exposed to intense heat, typically during descents. So avoid using these rims in the mountains. Now, the third type of Clincher road rim is this one here, an aluminium rim with a carbon fairing bonded onto it. The aluminium part supports the spoke tension as the spoke nipples sit in this part. The spokes run through openings in the fairing. The flexible fairing not only makes the rim more aerodynamic and more elegant, it also contributes to the stiffness of the rim, although not as much as the carbon part of the previous type of rim. Brands like Mavic and Head use this type of rim. Actually, Mavic road rims of this type have been known to be susceptible to cracking, as has happened with this specimen. These rims are light and aerodynamic and don't have the heat buildup issues of the previous two types of rims. However, these rims are generally not separately available, so they should be bought as part of a whole wheel set. Now, the last type of Clincher road rim is the aluminium rim or full aluminium rim. All Clincher road rims used to be of this type. These are usually low rims and therefore not as sensitive to wind as the previous ones dealt with. The only disadvantage of this type of rims is that they are not so aerodynamic. Higher, more aerodynamic aluminium rims do exist, but tend to be relatively heavy, in particular when the height exceeds 30 millimeters. The weight of this type of rim increases quickly as its height increases. Although higher aluminium rims are ideally suited for heavy riders, lighter riders often find them too heavy. Now, to sum up the most important points about Clincher road rims. First, be aware of the differences between Clincher road rims. Second, avoid using rims of type 1 and 2 in the mountains. Third, Clincher rims of type 4, the full aluminium rims, are cheapest and safest. Safest because of their resistance to heat and handling in windy conditions. Fourth, avoid using carbon rims higher than 35 millimeters in the mountains because of their susceptibility to crosswinds. Fifth, carbon rims and disc brakes are the ideal combination, provided the carbon rims are well made. And finally, heavy riders are best advised to have a good wheel builder make a wheel set for them, preferably with Clincher rims of type 1 or 4. Standard wheel sets you buy online or in bicycle shops are made for average rather than heavy riders. Thank you for watching.